Konnichiwa, Internet, and welcome to this episode of Overheats Game Time, I Don't Know What. You may have realized that I recently got Ultra Street Fighter 4 from my most recent video that I put out, and I realized that I don't really care too much for the music in Street Fighter 4, and so I decided to go about trying to find a way to customize it. So it's not as easy as pushing a button, it's not as easy as going into an options menu. Unfortunately, it takes quite a bit of hoop jumping to get this to work. But if you're like me and you really want to get your own soundtrack on there, then it might be worth your time. There are packages that you can get that pretty much have all the work done for you, but they're done by somebody else. So you may or may not agree with how they decided to set up the music or what music they picked. And if that's the case, it's kind of useless to you, which is kind of what happened to me. One thing I can't help you with is that if you don't have a normalized volume on your songs, then some songs you may barely be able to hear and will be overpowered by the sound of the announcer and the sound effects, and other songs may sound almost a little bit too loud. So, experiment with that at your leisure, but this is how to actually get your songs in the game and up and running. So the first thing you're going to need to do, you Google PC Custom Street Fighter 4, there is a wiki for it, and you can download pretty much all the tools you need. The CSB Packer is a necessity. This is the program that will take your converted MP3 files and pack them into a CSB that will allow Street Fighter 4 to read what you've done. You're going to need the PES. This, unfortunately, was not on the wiki. The thing that the wiki had didn't work for me. It might work for you, but every time I tried to open it, just nothing would happen. So again, if you Google MP3 to ADX PES, you should find this program and be able to download it. The next thing you're going to want to do is to create a folder. You can put it wherever you want. I've got everything on the desktop for the ease of watching this on the video. But you're going to want to call it something like Street Fighter 4 sound files or Street Fighter 4 OG sound, something in the nature of that, something in the realm of that, just so you know, because when you do replace the sound files, you're definitely going to want to not just get rid of them, you're going to want to move them somewhere else, just in case something happens, so you can revert back to the original files. So I have two songs here that I've already converted to MP3. Well, you know what, actually, let's do the files first. So we're going to go into the computer. Everybody's is different. Everybody has something different. I'm running Windows 7. You may be running something else. You're going to want to go to your program files, x86, and get to your Steam library. So assumedly your Steam library is here. If it isn't, whatever. Just you should know where your Steam folder is. So double-click the Steam folder. Once you've double-clicked the Steam folder, double-click the Steam apps. Once you've double-clicked the Steam apps, you're going to want to go into Common. So double-click onto the Common. And then once you're within the Common, it has most of your games. So you go to Super Street Fighter 4. This is actually Ultra. So double-click the Super Street Fighter 4, and now once you're in... Now, interesting side note with the character select music, this Packer program does not recognize it for some reason. So if you try to change the music in your character select, it won't let you because it doesn't understand this. So here's my tip on how to get around that. When I show you how to pack a CSB file so that you can change the music, take one of the ones that's already existing, like this main file right here, change the main file to the music that you want the select music to be. Once you've packed that and you have your little CSB, that's a fake main that you actually want to be the character select music, change its name to this, and the game should pick it up no problem. That's what I did. So we're back into the files here. So you go into Super Street Fighter 4, go into Resource, go into Battle, go into Sound, go into BGM. This is all the background music for the actual game. The one that say 2-channel, 4-channel, 2-channel, 4-channel, these are character theme songs. I find it much easier to change the music in the backgrounds. Also, it works a little better. These, like AFR, this right here is the African song, which is the airfield. AFX, this is actually the African level that is the solar eclipse. So each level has its own 3-digit code. I will put a list of this stuff out on the video so that you can pause it and write it down or copy it or screenshot it or whatever you need to do so that you can have that information when you decide to start changing the songs. But this is where the bulk of all the levels are. All the levels that were from Street Fighter 4 and Super Street Fighter 4 are all here. Okay? So then the levels that were added in Ultra. So you got to back out. We'll just go ahead and back all the way out to this. Okay? So you click on the Super Street Fighter 4, and then you want to go to DLC. You open up the DLC, and then you want to go to AE2. You open up AE2, and you go to Battle. You double-click Battle, you go to Sound, double-click BGM, and here are all the new levels, along with, for instance, Hug Hug, this is Hugo. Eln, that's Elena, right? So RLN, that's Rolento. PSN, that's Poison. Mad, that's the background music for the Mad Gear hideout level. JUR, that's the background music for the Jurassic Era facility. So these, if you want to change the music to these levels, that's where these reside. So I've just shown you where the files are for the music. Unfortunately, it's not all in one convenient folder. They're scattered around 3 folders. But the main stuff you should probably want to be changing are the background level musics, the character select music, and the main screen music. And I've shown you where that is now. Okay, so now that we know where the files are, we got to go about changing them. So we're going to go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and grab Balrog's theme music from Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. And we're going to go ahead and open this up, the PES. So we've got the PES, and we're going to want to change it from MP3 to ADX. ADX is the file format that the game understands. So you can either click the add and do all your navigation if you have your files hidden somewhere else. But since we've got it right here on the desktop, we're just going to grab this and drag and drop it. And since we're also going to do this one, we'll just go ahead and drag and drop that one too and drop it in there. So it's going to convert both of these. So then you click the next button. Now let's go into the sample, and you want to change the sample from default to 44.1. I left the sample at default, and all my songs played at like double speed or even triple speed sometimes because they had different hertz that they were assigned to. The game recognizes 44.1. So pick 44.1 so the songs will play at normal speed. And then you're going to want to use a destination folder. I personally am going to go ahead and use my destination folder that I'm putting all these songs in, which is Street Fighter 4 Sound. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and convert them. Your computer may be faster or slower than mine, depending. That's kind of irrelevant. Just let it do its thing. And once you get this message here, go ahead and click Done. And we'll go ahead and get rid of this for now. So now that we've converted our MP3 into ADX files so that the game can understand them, we need to pack them into a CSB so the game will read them. So we're going to go ahead and open up our CSB packer. And the first thing you need to do is the sound bank. So what we're going to do here is we're going to pick the song that we want to change. So we go to Browse. This is the part that kind of gets annoying because you have to browse through everything every time, but whatever. So we go to Program Files, x86, and we're going to go into Steam. We're going to go into Steam Apps, Common, Street Fighter 4, and let's see, the first file we're going to change, let's change one of the old ones, and we're going to go ahead and go into Resource, Battle, Sound, BGM, and I want to change the music to, where is it? The Cruise Ship Stern. So the file for that is EUR. So we're going to go to EUR. There it is. So this is the one we want to change. So you highlight it and you open it. Now it gives you a bunch, basically all these channels are either surround sound or when the music changes because it speeds up or slows down. And since we're not going to try to get too technically into that, we just want to change the music to what we want to change the music to. Click Browse on the top one and go to where you put your music. So in this case, we're going to go to the local disk. We're going to go to Street Fighter 4 Sound, and we're going to look for Balrog's theme. There it is. We're going to open it up. Now, if you just do that and finish, what's going to happen is every time the game needs to pull one of these songs, it's just going to stop playing or it's just going to be silent. So now what we need to do is go in and click on Balrog's song for every single one of these. Every single one. Balrog's theme, Balrog's theme, Balrog's mother effing theme, baby. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead, since we've got the same ones all the way down, we're going to go ahead and create the CSB. So now it's working. Don't freak out. It doesn't show any bars. It just freezes while it says working, and then eventually this will pop up. Again, how fast your computer is will dictate how quickly this happens. So once we're done with that, it created a new directory where that old directory was. So there's going to be 2 of the same song. We'll get to that in a second because I want to do one more. So now we're going to do one of the new levels. And there is no tutorial on the new levels that I found, so I was guessing as to which file it is. So we're going to find out together, Internet, whether or not I was right. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing. We go to Steam, we go to Steam Apps, we go to Common, Street Fighter 4, and then instead of Resource this time, we're going to go to DLC, AE2, Battle, Sound, BGM, and I want to change the music to the Blast Furnace, which is BFU. So we're going to look for the BFU. There it is. And we're going to open up BFU. And now we're going to go again. Same thing. Browse. Go into the local disk. Open up Street Fighter 4 Sound. And where is it? Heavy Swell, Zangief's theme. So there we go. So we've got the song that we want to switch for the furnace. And we're going to create that CSB. And it's done. Okay, so now that that's done, here's the next step. So the next step is to go to your computer, open up the local, program 86. We're going to the same thing. We're going into Steam. We're going into Steam Apps. We're going into Common. We're going into Super Street Fighter 4. We're going into deal. Wait, okay, so now that we're here, we're going to go ahead and go into Resource, Battle, Sound, BGM, and the song we changed was EAU, as you may recall, right? So we're going to look for the EAU. Where could it be? There it is. Now you'll notice there's two of the same file, but one says .new. This is the file we created. So now, just to make sure you don't F anything up, or just in case you need to revert to your old files, what we're going to do is take this original file and right-click it, and we're going to cut it. Snip, you're gone, sucker. And we're going to open up this sound file here, and we're going to right-click and paste. Okay, so now the original version of that song is waiting in this happy little folder, so if we ever need it, it'll be there. So now the only EUR is this one here, and it will not work the way it is. So click it once to highlight it, click it again so you can rename it, and then you're going to want to go all the way over to New and delete, or I should say backspace, 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 and enter. So it looks, so, oh no, you're changing it, it might be unusable, who cares, it's fine, yes. So now that should have been changed. So now let's go find the other one we changed, which was a new song. So we're going to have to back all the way out to here, and we're going to go to DLC. Or again, just to make this easier for you guys, Street Fighter 4, DLC, and then we're going to go AE2, and we're going to go Battle, Sound, Background Music, and we change the BFU. So there, once again, we have BFU CSB, BFU CSB .new. So let's go ahead and do the same thing here, right-click it, and we're going to cut it out, and we're going to open up our folder here, and we're going to paste it back in. And then we've only got this one BFU, so we're going to click it, highlight it, and we're going to rename it. But all we're going to do to rename it is just this. So basically, when you want to change your character select screen music, you do the same thing. You cut the original character select music out, you put it away, and then instead of just getting rid of the new, you delete the new, and then you change the, whatever this is, BFU, be it main, be it whatever it is, you change this to the wording for the character select, and then that's done. Okay, so now these should be set. One more thing I should note, actually, if you're going to change the character select and title screen music, you can't do it. This is actually my fault for saying so at the beginning that you do. You don't do it from Resource, actually. Resource is only for the original backgrounds, not for the character select and main screen music, because they changed the character select screen and main screen music in Super Street Fighter 4, so it's different. So what you have to actually do to change the background music and the character select music is you go DLC, you go AE2, you go to UI, and then you go to Sound, and you go to BGM, and then you change these ones. So now we've changed the song, so we want to see if they work. So we're going to go ahead and boot up Street Fighter 4.
Ultra Street Fighter 4!
And right away you should notice a difference. So as you can hear, I changed the music for this main menu. So now, if you go into Options and Sound Settings, you can tweak this. As you can see, I have this slightly different because it's set for the level that my music is. You can still hear sound effects just fine. Volume, the voice volume is just fine. But most of the music is a little bit too low, and I haven't bothered to go in and normalize all the volumes, so that's why that's set this way. So, tweak with it yourself, find what works for you, what's balanced out best for you. You may find that your music is too loud and you need to turn the music down, actually. So now let's test it and see if it worked. So we're going to go into Versus. And let's just do player versus CPU, hardest difficulty, 1 round. And as you can hear, I changed my character select screen music. And let's go ahead and just random, and gotta be Poison, baby. Okay, so we changed one of the old songs, which should work. I should have no trouble with that. So which one was it that we changed again, Internet? It was the cruise ship stern, I believe. Let's see, where is the cruise ship stern? Is that it? Yep, okay. Let's go ahead and jump into the cruise ship stern, and let's hear if the music has changed.
The stage of battle is set.
It sure is. And there you go, Internet.
Well then, let's begin.
Are you ready?
And now you can play with different music. Yay! Yay, you're kicking the crap out of me, you're so good. So I'm gonna skip past this because this isn't what we're here for. Okay. So now that that's over, we can go ahead. That's the reason I put it at the hardest difficulty level, and I put it to 1 round so we can just cut through this quickly so you can test the next song. So now you're going to be learning along with me on this one, Internet. I'm pretty sure that I was right about where to put the songs for the new stuff, so let's find out. So I changed the blast furnace. I do believe that's it right there. Yep. Alright, let's see if I was right. There you go.
Understood.
That is Zangief's music from Alpha 3. And so there you go, Internet. That is how you change the music in your copy of Street Fighter 4. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, like it. If you want to see more, click that subscribe button. If you have any questions or suggestions you'd like to throw out there, drop them in the comments section below. That's it for today, Internet. Johnny, bye-bye.